In this video, I'd like to show you an Android app that has one Seekbar. And we're going to be sort of moving towards a type of graphic equalizer interface. So in the graphic equalizer interface, one has these knobs, these things that sliders, this way for a user of the interface to change the value, in this case from -15 to 15. So that's what we will be working on. That will be the range that we will consider. And the code for this project can be found at the URL seen here. Okay, so here is the app in action. Let me go over to the activity main and compare it to the AVD. And so we have a text view, the Seekbar, and another text view. And the user can change this, and it goes from +15 to -15 and can take on values in between. So the first text view is, I called it TV label. It says level 1, and it is the label for the Seekbar. So that would help some visually impaired reader instruct a user about what they are changing when they work with the Seekbar. Then we have the Seekbar itself. There are the constraints and things like that, but our main functioning properties are the maximum, the largest value the Seekbar will allow, the minimum, the smallest value the Seekbar will allow, and the progress. This is in design, the level that we start at. And then when we go over to code, we will also talk about the progress as the user changes the value. That's what will change. And then we have a text view for displaying. So I started off the progress in design at 0, and I started off this text view with a text of 0 because this is going to be displaying the progress. So it's at 2, it's at 10, it's at -9, etc. Okay, so let me close that, and I had a minimum. I have a note to myself here, so I'm going to read my little note that I've edited the build Gradle, the module version, to have a min SDK of 26. So I'm using the min property of the SDK. Now, if I don't have a min property, it's assumed to be 0. And in older versions, you could not change it away from 0. And so you could still do what you wanted to do. You could still have the graphic equalizer go from -15 to 15, but what you would handle it by going from 0 to 30 and then in code subtracting 15. But now the Seekbar supports a minimum value that's not 0, but it didn't always do that. So we have to guard and sort of say you can't go back in SDKs by some default amount, which often goes to, I think, maybe 16, but you can only go back as far as 26 to utilize this minimum value. Okay. So, and I'm just so here it is, the build Gradle module has a property of min SDK, and I change this value to 26. And then when you change anything in the Gradle, then you must sync the Gradle. Okay, so we're in the main activity. We're on create. We are connecting widgets in the layout over to code versions. So I had a Seekbar with an ID of SBEQ1, Seekbar Equalizer 1, and TV show 1, text view showing 1. Usually I put the type, the Seekbar, in sort of angle brackets here, but this is a different version of that where we're using the sort of as Seekbar, as text view. Okay, So we only have one real main event here. That is the Seekbar's event. So I wanted to show you something simple to start off with in terms of Seekbars. So they have a Seekbar change listener. It has sort of, as these things often do, a sort of a before, during, and after. So here's the on start. So if we needed to remember where the Seekbar setting was before the user started sliding back and forth, then we would do something here. So maybe we needed to remember, see how much it changed or something like that. So then we would need to know where we started to know how much we changed. If something's time consuming, you will often wait to do it on when the tracking stops, because the user can go back and forth. So we are making change events, but only when they finally stop, sort of release their hold on this widget, then do they stop tracking. So if I were going to put something like a toast or something like that, I would put that here. So anything that requires a resource or anything that requires an amount of time, like a toast, I would not put in the during. I would put in the after when it's done. Here in the progress, I do want to show the progress as the user is sliding. That's the purpose of this display, and so that's definitely in the during. But again, just keep track of. Don't put anything resource or time consuming here, because it won't be able to keep up. So anything that's time consuming, put in after. Anything that you definitely need to be showing while it's happening, put here. And then this is only if you needed to remember some overall change from beginning to end, then you might want to record things at the start. So that is, I believe, all I wanted to show you on this first Seekbar app.